Good day everyone, this is Scott from Cruising Geek, and today I am going to add a level of security to my Gallardo. That's right, I have purchased the Owlcam, which is a special recording camera that has LTE functionality, and I'm going to install that in my Gallardo. This will allow me to get notifications if anyone's getting near the car or anything when I'm parked to it. It has video recordings for inside and outside the car when I'm using it or when it's parked. So I think all of that is going to be really great to have for this car, especially this type of car. And I do want to mention I am not a sponsor. This is not an official video. I just thought this seemed like a really great thing to have for my car, and I purchased it. So with that, let's go unbox it and see what comes in the box. With the shrink wrap removed, we can now unbox the Owlcam. So it slides out here, and when we open this top off, we can see here there's this really nice pamphlet with some stuff from the CEO. And then this is really neat. This has got a picture of exactly what's in the box, so everything's labeled, so you can see it right when you're pulling it out. And then inside here are some, here's some stickers you can put on your car. These are kind of weird though. They stick from the back, not from the window. So I'm probably going to do something else. And then of course there's some installation instructions and such, which I'll be looking over. But here is the actual Owlcam. You can see, the camera, the base is there. This is the OBD2 plug. That's how the camera's powered. Just plug that in. So that is it. I will be taking this out now to the garage and getting this installed. So you can see here where I have the wire just along the crack. It's really hard to push it in there, so I'm going to leave it out there. And when you close the door, you won't even see that, so it's fine. And then you can see this weather stripping. If I pull it back, that's where I have the wire going up into there. And then it routes all the way up this weather stripping. And then it's going to route all the way around the entire dash. And it's not going to be this inside seam line. It's not going to be that. It's going to be all the way along the outer windshield, so it's pretty long. So I got to continue doing that, so let's get at it. So normally, this is the part of the video after the install montage where I would show it off and talk about how much I liked it. Unfortunately, with the Owlcam, a few days after installing it, I had to uninstall it and return it. And now I think it's really important that I go over the reasons why I decided to return my Owlcam. And there's four high-level reasons, and I'll get into those. So the first is that the experience of getting in your car with the Owlcam, I really dislike that, and this is the main reason I got rid of the camera. How the camera works is that it's tied to your phone, and so that when you get near the car and when you come in the car, it's supposed to recognize that your phone is like your key, and that it will recognize, okay, it's you because you have your phone. So it's supposed to turn off and just be fine like that. The problem I found was no matter how long I hovered near the car or anything, I always had to be very, very next to the phone, almost completely inside the car for a couple seconds before it would turn off. And that was terrible because it would sometimes start to flash me with the big lights as if I was the intruder or anything. So every time I got in the car, I would have that experience, and I just felt really uncool about that experience. I really didn't like to see the giant thing flash in my face like I was the intruder of my own car. And then related to that is the fact that for that to work, you have to put your phone into always track your location, which wastes a lot of battery. So that experience I thought was really bad. That was the main reason I returned it. The second thing that I really didn't like is a little bit tied to that. It's that the camera, it always showed when you got in the car, or anytime really, you would see on the LCD screen, you will see the image of what it was, the live view of the camera right there. And that would include the self-view camera. And to me, I just didn't like that, like seeing everything that was going on. Like, oh, there's myself. Oh, there's the right in front of me, just flashing there on the screen the whole time, especially getting in the car. I felt that was jarring and distracting. And I realize now I would much prefer a camera that doesn't have a screen at all, that's only controlled like via a phone or something you plug in, so that the camera is just a piece of hardware. Another problem I felt with this camera was it had a lot of app issues. So I just was saying about like, okay, it shows yourself, you see yourself from the interior camera, and I think that's really annoying. Like when I first get in the car, I see myself looking at it as if I'm the intruder. Well, you can turn off the self camera, but the problem is if you turn that off, the app only allows you to turn it like globally on or globally off. And so if you globally turn it off, that means it won't be recording who's breaking into your car when it's in the park mode. Instead of if they just had a setting where in the app or on the camera you could change it so that, okay, you want the self view off when the car is not parked, but you want it on only for when it's parked. But that wasn't an option. There was many settings like that. Like the record length was both parked and non-parked. If they started splitting the settings up, I think they would make the camera a lot more useful. So that's another reason why I didn't like it and decided to return it. And then finally, the last thing was, and this is on me. If this was the only issue I had, I probably wouldn't have returned the camera. But I felt after I installed it and looked at it from the inside, it had a bulky view. And looking across the dash and looking at the camera, it stuck up so high, and especially because it had an LCD screen, it just was like the focal point of the eyes, and it broke the really clean lines of this dashboard, the really nice lines of the dash. And I just felt it was too bulky and didn't fit with this car. So for those reasons, I returned my Owlcam. So definitely, if you're thinking of buying an Owlcam, I have no ill will towards the company. If all those issues I mentioned to you, either maybe they'll get resolved in the future, or they're non-issues to you, then by all means buy it. I think that the camera does a pretty good job of what it does. I think the company is doing a good job of responding to emails, and responding to like the chat. They respond in like 5 minutes. So it's I think a good company overall. I like what they're doing. But at the end of the day, the camera wasn't for me, and that's why I returned it. All right, thanks everyone. And if you like this type of content, definitely like and subscribe so that you'll get more awesome information about my Gallardo, about crazy installs that I do, and just in general having fun with cars and being a guy that likes cars. All right, thanks everyone, and I will see you next time.